Commission for Truth, Reconciliation and Healing, and that of the Compensation and Reparations Authority. Speaking to reporters, Information Minister Michael Makwei-Lueth said following the presentations, the Cabinet empowered Minister Arol to assemble a dedicated team tasked with initiating this vital process, setting the stage for historic reform in South Sudan's justice system.
The minister made a presentation to the cabinet in order to authorize him and give him the green light to continue contacting the institutions concerned and the stakeholders, and also to contact the UN and the African Union, because they are foreigners who are supposed to be parties to these bodies. So the cabinet gave him the full authority, authorized him to set up a panel to identify the members of the board and to identify the members of the panel and so forth, so that the operationalization of these two laws takes effect. It is worth mentioning that these two laws were enacted in accordance with the provisions of the R-Access. It is the agreement which provided for the establishment of these institutions, so that peace and security can prevail, so that those who are affected can be compensated and reparated, and so forth. So the cabinet approved the request of the minister and directed him to proceed with the implementation or the operationalization of these two acts.
In addition to justice, the meeting tackled pressing security issues, with Interior Minister Angelina Tench presenting a security report on the recent protests resulting from the recent tragic killings of South Sudanese nationals in Sudan. The cabinet commended the swift response by security forces to restore order and calm during the protests by angry youth over the horrific killings of South Sudanese nationals in Wad Medani.
The report was very clear. It was clear that our gallant forces have really managed to bring the situation under control, because all the law enforcement agencies work hard to ensure that the lives and properties are protected, and they have succeeded to do that, and this was really appreciated by the cabinet. She also informed us that we also appreciated the stand on the position taken by His Excellency as the President when he decided to call upon the people of South Sudan to control themselves and stand and be firm and not to act outrageously, but give the government the chance to follow up his rights. It was the call of the President that brought immediate calm to the country, and we appreciate the forces and the people of South Sudan for their patience and not taking law into their own hands.
Gratitude echoed throughout the presentation as the Council applauded the people of South Sudan for their restraint and composure in the face of adversity, as urged by the President during his statement to the nation. As the nation moves forward with the peace agreement, the establishment of the Commission for Truth, Reconciliation and Healing represents a beacon of hope. It lays the groundwork for reconciliation and the restoration of trust among communities. Alejandro Lotok, SSBC News, Juba.
It's still at the presidency. President Kiir and his deputy, Dr. Riek Machar Teny, and officials from the Ministries of Justice and Cabinet Affairs gathered to deliberate on the final status of the Abyei. Additionally, President Kiir met with Rita Darajina, the EU Managing Director for Africa, to strengthen bilateral relations between South Sudan and the EU countries. SSBC's Alejandro Lotok reports.
President Kiir and the first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar Teny conferred with representatives from the Ministries of Justice and Cabinet Affairs to address the final status of the Abyei area This meeting underscores the government's commitment to resolving this long-standing issue in alignment with the resolutions from the recent Governors Forum, which highlighted the urgent need for a comprehensive resolution of the final status of Abyei area. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Ruben Madola Roll, noted that this meeting forms part of the government's broader strategy to ensure the effective and timely implementation of decisions reached during the Governors Forum. Minister Roll emphasizes the importance of expedient actions towards Abyei's resolution.
Had to consult on this item of the agenda for the Council of Ministers meeting, which is a constitutional matter. It relates to the position of the government of South Sudan regards to the final status of Abyei area. This is in conformity with the resolutions of the last Governors Forum, which required that this matter be brought by Abyei Administrative Legislature and the Executive to the national government to deliberate and make a position. It's been agreed by His Excellency the President that this issue be discussed at the level of the Council of Ministers. All will depend on the outcome of the deliberations at that level and the resolutions that the Council of Ministers will take.
The Abyei area has been a contentious issue between South Sudan and Sudan since the country's independence in 2011. The leaders expressed optimism that their discussions would help facilitate a peaceful settlement that honors the rights and aspirations of local communities. In a separate development, President Kiir held discussion with Rita Larangina, the Managing Director for Africa at the European Union, focusing on enhancing bilateral relations between Juba and Brussels. Rita assured President Kiir of the European Union's continued constructive engagement in South Sudan. She expressed strong support for the country's transition toward a stable, peaceful and democratic future.
I come here today to convey messages from Brussels of our strong engagement to this country, to the people of South Sudan, and to say that the European Union remains committed to supporting the transition towards a stable, peaceful and a democratic country. We've been supporting strongly the peace process over the years since 2015, and we've been doing this because we have an overriding objective, and that is peace. And we have certainly one overriding concern, which is the interest of the South Sudanese people, the interest of common people.
From his side, His Excellency the President of the Republic warmly welcomed Madame Rita and her delegation and expressed, the commitment of the Republic of South Sudan to sustain the peace and also to meet the needs and expectations of our people. He also welcomed the efforts and the initiative of the European Union to support the peace process in the Republic of South Sudan. And in response to this exchange of views, Madame Rita also expressed her satisfaction and joy to her visit to Rank, and she also expressed the warmly reception from the government and the people of South Sudan to her.
The discussions reaffirmed the significance of ongoing collaboration between South Sudan and the European Union as both parties work together toward achieving long-term stability in the region. Leandro Lotok, SSBC News, Juba.
Moving on, South Sudan and Pakistan have renewed commitment to strengthening parliamentary collaborations through enhanced capacity building programs. This follows the return of a government delegation led by the Deputy Speaker for Members' Affairs, Cornelio Khan, from Islamabad, Pakistan, where they engaged in productive discussions aimed at fostering ties and cooperation between the two nations. In a statement to SSBC at Juba International Airport, KON stresses the significance.
والحمد لله انه عمل مذكره تفاهم هو هيجي يوقع مع السبيكر بتاعنا في الدوله بتاع جنوب السودان. يعني رئيس برلمان الباكستاني هيجي، واننا قابلنا كل الكوكس الموجوده هناك، كوكس مرة بتاع دومن كوكس قابلناه، الشباب قابلناه، باقي البرلمانيات، باقي البرلمان المجلس الولايي برضه هناك مكون من 107 نفر قابلناه برضه. يعني اننا قابلنا كل الناس، والباب مفتوح لنا في جنوب السودان اننا نمشي ونواصل التدريبات. واول حاجه صادقوا لنا على 200 عضو برلمان انه يمشي يتدرب هناك مجانا، اننا كيف نشيلهم نوصلهم الباكستان. نوصل 200 نفر في باكستان هيتدربوا بالنظام البريطاني والنظام البرلماني الموجود الجديد في العالم.
The Customary Authority is advocating for inclusion in the constitution-making process in the country. The Steering Committee of the National Council of Traditional Authority and the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Ruben Madol Arol, have convened to discussing the participatory process of drafting the permanent constitution. The ministries and the Secretary, Mary James Ajith, affirmed the government's commitment to supporting the traditional authority in executing its mandate. The group's representative, Prince Tadio Mare Sasa, stresses the need to include leaders of the traditional authority in the constitution-making process, highlighting the vital role traditional leaders play in society.
For us as the Ministry of Justice, we just feel it's a great pleasure for us, and we are delighted for that, because this is the first time for the traditional authority to come and visit the Ministry of Justice. We are very happy and committed as Ministry of Justice that we'll support them on their way.
We know that the Constitution is the people agreement that make the Constitution, and therefore it is very relevant that this making Constitution process must include the traditional leader authority to avoid many historical shortages that have been happening along our history. The second issue we discuss is the issue of how to establishment of National Council of Traditional Leader as it is stipulated in the Constitution of South Sudan. So the meeting was very fruitful, giving the challenge that facing the traditional authority, their role in mitigating, solving problem during crisis, during war. It is the traditional leaders who are there to provide peace for people and other things.
From that story, we are going for a break. Stay tuned for more coming up, including concerns over the collection of the country's non-oil revenues as presented by the Revenue Authority Commissioner, General Simon Abyei. Stay tuned for more stories coming up. Welcome back and thank you for tuning in. Now reverting your attention to the country's revenue collection. The Ministry of Finance and Planning, through the Public Financial Management Oversight Committee, reviews concerns over the collection of the country's non-oil and oil revenues as presented by the Revenue Authority Commissioner General Simon Abyei Deng, who highlighted the authority's stance on implementing the financial bill amid numerous challenges. During the discussions with the NRA boss, the finance minister expresses optimism that both oil and non-oil revenues would play a pivotal role in swiftly addressing the country's prevailing economic situation. Norwegian Ambassador Roar Osdal underscored the importance of implementing the public financial management reform agenda to ensuring the timely payment of public servants and alleviate economic situation. The Finance Ministries and the Secretary for Planning, Benjamin Ayali, updated the meeting on preparations for the fiscal year 2025-2026 national budget.
I'm optimistic that things may change for better this year, both in terms of the progress that we intend to make on a number of reforms, and also from the possible resumption of the oil export. So far, we have witnessed good progress with the resumption, and we hope to see it through. That will really, with a high non-oil revenue target that we set for the 2024-2025 budget, that the second part of the fiscal year, the second half, that is from January to June, may witness a great improvement in the revenue collection, and to other areas, including the implementation of the peace agreement and the ongoing talks with the all-out group, which we think may result in a deal.
In 2025, the government needs to focus on ensuring macroeconomic stability and public financial management reform. Priorities for the year ahead should include: this may of course require a reallocation away from capital spending, increasing transparency over oil revenues and expenditures as the last point. We of course expect commitment to good public financial management. This can also unlock international.
Stakeholders are discussing ways to strengthen bilateral labor agreements to enhance regional migration management and ensure the safe mobility of labor workers. In his opening remarks, the Minister of Labor, James Hothmai, stresses the importance of the labor agreement in providing protection to workers across the region. The three-day program brought together participants from the Ministry of Labor and representatives from the Workers' Union.
We need to protect our workers. Leave alone those who are living in South Sudan, but those who are coming also to work in the Republic of South Sudan. We have so many migrant workers here. They need also protection. All right. So this training is very important for us to give full protection to migrant workers. We have actually people who are abusing this phenomenon. They bring people, they traffic people actually forced labor, and we have to stop this. So when we sign a contract, this bilateral labor agreement, when we sign them, we have to know exactly which areas those countries need. You don't just send people to those countries. And then now it will help us also regulating the movement of people.
In a significant move to improving the nationwide water supply, the government and JICA have embarked on a 2-year technical cooperation and water supply expansion project in Juba. The agreement signed on Friday between the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation and JICA will be supervised by the Urban Water Corporation. Speaking to the media after signing the document, the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation, Peter Mahal, stresses that the project will cover Juba City and its surrounding areas. The Managing Director of the Urban Water Corporation, Yara Paul, highlighted the importance of the project in strengthening capacity building efforts. A representative of the Japanese team, Ogata Ruji, stated that the project is set to commence in September 2025 once the essential procedures are completed.
We are grateful for the people of Japan for the continuous support that is coming up. We're already having water in Juba, which was supported and it was handed over to us. There will be another support that is coming, a follow-up to different areas in Juba County. The communities of Juba, the population in Juba should have access to safe, clean drinking water with efficiency.
And South Sudan Urban Water Corporation is the implementing agency for this new technical cooperation. This document that we have signed is the first step of the technical cooperation, and I think we are going to possibly, if everything goes well, we are going to possibly start the technical cooperation project in September this year. And we have stakeholders, including Juba City Council, Ministry of Housing and Public Utilities of Juba, our mother ministry, the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation, and South Sudan Urban Water Corporation. We are the main stakeholders that are going to implement this technical cooperation project.
As you know, we have been working with the government of Republic of South Sudan for a long time for the good water in Juba. So today we have concluded the new document for the coming technical cooperation project, which aimed at the better water supply in Juba. So I expect that the people in Juba can get good water in the future through the.
Now, reverting your attention to parliamentary issues, parliamentarians have taken a proactive step towards scrutinizing the operations of the country's commercial banks following concerns over their tax obligations, lending practices, and other underlying challenges as part of their efforts to improving the national economy. The Parliamentary Trade Committee convened on Friday with the representatives of commercial banks to addressing these pressing issues. In a statement to SSBC, Mayanding Alier, chairperson of the Specialized Committee, emphasizes that the committee resolved to engaging government institutions, including the Ministry of Labor and heads of security forces, to addressing challenges faced by the commercial banks, such as staff harassment. Bruna Sirisio Iro, a representative of the South Sudan Bankers Association, highlighted several challenges, including the need for increased capital to better service clients and concerns over the arrest of bank staff.
The Committee of Trade, in conjunction with 5 other committees of the TNLA, had a privilege to meet the Bankers Association towards making sure that we have a stable economy in South Sudan. We also asked them about the issues concerning the taxes, especially the sale tax, and to whom this obligation should be, either to the banks or to the clients. So we promised to meet other concerned entities like the Bank of South Sudan, the Ministry of Labor, the heads of the organized forces to look into some of these issues that were raised by the commercial banks.
We have the challenges. Of course, we need capital also to give to the clients. We have our cash, which is stranded in the central bank. That was taken a long time ago. And also we have the recent challenges of the money of the forex, which also is stuck in central bank. And also we have the most serious challenges is the issue of arresting the commercial bank staff randomly. And the third is the issue of the commercial court. We have a lot of problems of the banks out due to the liquidation of the collateral, which is also discourage the banks.
As the saying goes, assisting somebody while struggling embodies pure love and support. The South African government has donated a Toyota Prado vehicle to the National Elections Commission to enhance the facilitation of its electoral activities ahead of the forthcoming general elections in 2026 at the conclusion of the transitional period. In his remarks following the donation, the Secretary General of the Commission, Gabriel Bol Majok, praises the strong bilateral relations between Pretoria and Juba, which have resulted in this critical support. South African Ambassador Molody Mofe reaffirmed his government's commitment to supporting
education. And for this reason, we are grateful to the people of South Africa for their support, because this donation, especially the vehicle, will strengthen our operation capacity, because in the next few weeks, the National Electoral Commission is going to launch important exercise, civic education and voter registration. The vehicle will enable our national and state officials to travel across the countries to sensitize our citizens about the importance of elections.
We hope that through this small gesture of a token of good faith, the Commission will be able to do 2 more steps more than what it used to do. And we hope also that the Commission and us will always work together now. This time around, I'm sure even South Sudanese are calling for elections. And I know as I drive around in the country and walk around in the country, people are calling for elections as well. And we hope that our leaders too will do their best in South Sudan to ensure that democratic.
Central Equatorial State authorities have renewed their call for the Lobonok people to shun violence and focus on development. The call follows a meeting chaired by Governor Agustino Jadala Wani, focused on the fact-finding on the recent misunderstanding in the Tumbur Boma of Lobonok, which resulted in the killings of soldiers and destruction as well as of homes and property, creating humanitarian crisis in the region. To alleviating the dire situation, Commissioner Esbon delivered both food and non-food items to the victims, urging the community to collaborate with the government in addressing the root causes of the conflict in an effort to preventing similar occurrences in the future. Tatisio Ladu, Executive Chief of Lobonok Payam, said that the humanitarian situation on the ground is dire, appealing that there is need for supplies of tents, blankets, drugs, and other essential basic services in the area.
Our amana that Hakuma Israel Lusa, Gina Shanaim briefing His Excellency the Governor, General Agustino Jadala Kamilwani, Governor of Central Equatorial State, بخصوص أحداث اللي حصل في اللواء لبوما لبنان بايام. الأحداث اللي حصل هناك أحداث مؤسف جدا جدا، وكان حصل فيه حرائق في بيوت. وحصل ضرر لأنه كان في سوء تفاهم حصل هناك. لكن مشينا بزيارة خاصة بتوجيهات من سيد الحاكم، أنا شخصيا مشيت ووضع هناك في الوقت الحالي وضع آمن ومستقر. مواطنين هم جو الكنيسة للوبونوك سنتر. نحن مشينا خطبناهم. أول حاجة نقدر نشكر مجهود القدموا حاكم بتاع الولاية وحكومة إسرائيل الوسطى بالدعم والمساعدة اللي هم قدموه للناس الديسبليس. جيجا شلنا كمية من أكل وشراب، وشلنا يعني برضه كوميونيتي ما قصروا، قدموا مساعدات كويس من أكل برضه وشراب وحتى أدوية وحتى بطاطين وملابس. فأنا داير نشكر مجهود أي زول اللي قدم للكوميونيتي. حاجة المهم يا هو أمني ده طبعا أنا هممنا لبوك حكومة. أهم حاجة دايرين أمن واستقرار المواطن، وده ما زمن مواطن يجري من محله، ده ما زمن مواطن يجري في خيم. دايرين مواطن أي محل هو قاعد فوقه يكون هو قاعد في أمن وأمان.
وشوفنا فعلا يعني حالة واسع الرجوع بتاعكم في محلات بتاعكم بتقدر ترجعوا. من قام ودونا هنا بتاعدينه من ما بقدر برجع في محلات بتاعهم. ليه؟ لأنه واد بتاعهم هناك مجازة ما بيكون كويس. أي ومن لو رجع ما معناته راجعين لموت تاني. عشان هم يقدر يرجعوا في محلات بتاعهم ده إلا كان غيروا جزء من هناك، وبعد ده من بقدر برجع شنو في بلد بتاعهم مالو فقط. عشان كده أنا بنشكر أول حاجة حكومة بتاعنا لو قبلنا بتاعنا بتاعت الولاية مع مساعدات اللي عملوا، لكن بنطالب إنه طلب بتاعت المواطنين بتاعنا ده اللي يكون في شنو في محل بتاعهم، لأننا شايفين عشان فعلا المواطنين ده يقدر يرجعوا هناك إلا كان شنو يشيلوا عساكر دل من هناك. وإنما ما أبينا حكومة طبعا، يعني ناس إننا لما نقول إنما دايرين جزء من هناك ومناته زي إننا أبينا حكومة، إنما أبينا حكومة، إننا دايرين إنه تغيير، مش إنه ما دايرين جيش، يغيروا جزء من هناك ويشيلوا جيش ثانيين عشان المواطنين ده كان رجعوا هم بقدر بيمشي شنو يعني ببيل يعني علاقات ثانيين زيادة يعني من بداية بتاعت اللي هنا ده، لكن هذا لو قاعدين هناك مواطنين ده.
Northern Barkazal State Governor Simon Ober Mawood has called on newly appointed state officials to deliver on their promises as they assume duties, addressing gaps in service delivery. Governor Mawood urges the State Minister of Finance to focus on generating resources to supporting development activities in the state. The State Assembly Speaker Achol William Amoy encourages the newly appointed officials to combating corruption and prioritizing better service delivery for the people in the area. The newly appointed Minister of Information and Communication, Gabriel Dengyal, announces that his first priority is to restore the state's communication networks, particularly by reopening the state radio and television, which have been off air for years, urging the people of South Sudan to remain resilient and calm amidst the country's current critical situation.
As governor, I will continue to support you and work with each and every one of you, because especially our new Minister of Finance, you have been given an Abyei task. We need resources, and this calls for a number of radical reforms within the ministry. We also need to improvise to mobilize resources, because there are things that we need to address before the rainy season. One of them is the opening of our drainage system within our town, and we need resources. We don't want our citizens to be displaced again.
This task, it is not an easy task that we can celebrate, because you will be celebrating it later when you achieved what needed for you as a member of Northern Barkazal. The only things that needed for you, it is a teamwork. Teamwork to join ourselves as members of Northern Barkazal and citizens of this great state.
We understand things are not moving well in terms of economic problems,
but are the people who are determined to provide services to our population. Will work hand in hand to ensure those who do not have access to communication are able to be provided the services. That may take some time for them actually to be part of the community.
We now cross over to Wau, the capital of Western Bargazal State, where Governor Emmanuel Primo Okello and Chinese engineers from United Nations mission led by Sam Mahumor have convened to strategizing the improvement of medical facilities and road rehabilitation. The goal is to enhancing the smooth movements of people and services in the area. In a statement to SSBC, the State's Minister of Information and Communication, Samuel Nicola, praises the role played by the United Nations in supporting the state. Ahead of the United Nations mission in South Sudan field office, Sam explained that the meeting focused on identifying the priorities of the state government.
In terms of road maintenance and construction support, as well as in terms of health care assistance, the two contingent commanders have given us a very good promise that they are ready to do what they can afford based on what they can do in terms of health. And the interaction was really good because there was a Minister of Health and Minister of Road and Bridges. So the next level is to share ideas and to share plan together and to see the areas where there is gap, where there is need, so that they should come in.
We exchanged ideas on the priorities that the government sees, and the contingents also took an opportunity to express their appreciation to the support received from the Western Bargazal state government, including renewing the friendship that exists between the government of China and the government of the Republic of South Sudan.
Now we take you to Bor, the capital of Jonglei State, where the vibrant cultural displays of Jonglei State have brightened the day as the county marks the 9th County Cultural Festival. This event is part of efforts to strengthening the cultural heritage of the people of Jonglei State. Governor Major Bial Turuk joined the cultural performances and danced to the melodious, traditionally designed beats, underscoring his connection with the locals. During the occasion, a Chekur choir, a notable leader, pledges 9 bulls, one for each county, as a symbol of unity and reconciliation in the area. Speaking at the event, Governor Turuk pledges 5 additional bulls, demonstrating his commitment to fostering harmony and collaboration across Jonglei State, highlighting the importance of promoting peace both within Jonglei and with neighboring states.
أنا دايركم ناس المواطنين بتاع الولاية تكونوا في سلام زي ده، تعاملوا حاجات في سلام. انتوا عاملوا سلام عشان بلدنا يمشي قدام. مسكوا في سلام عشان نعملوا مدارس ونعملوا مستشفيات للأولاد بتاعنا. شمال تاني نعملوا حاجات هنا في الولاية بتاعنا. أنا أدركم بسلم رئيس الجمهورية جنرال سلفا كير ميادي بقول له سلام عليك لأن زول ده عملوا تور بتاعه. والناس بتاعيكم
The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, in collaboration with the National Youth Union and Youth for Peace and Organization, distributed relief assistance to households in Souk Ajar and Mahone residential areas in Juba. The ministry's director for planning, Lawrence Akol, urges donors to support youth-led humanitarian programs. Deputy Chairperson of the National Youth Union, Mutwakel Awol, reaffirmed their commitment to empowering young people through capacity building. Deng Makwach, Chairperson of Youth for Peace Organization, called for more support to promoting peace and stability in the country. A beneficiary representative, Lily Guli Felix, expresses gratitude to the government and youth organizations for their assistance.
And I'm encouraging the whole citizens of South Sudan that let's take example led by Haimaona Youth Organization by cracking our minds, not to depend on people, but do by ourselves. We have done it successfully. And I'll ask the good people, the Samaritans, on my behalf of my ministry, to support these people. I will ask, I repeat, I will beg the donors to support this organization.
كاتحاد شباب نحن دورنا دائما ثابت في انه حندرب شباب، حندرب الشابات في انه يقدروا يخشوا سوق العمل ويقدروا يخشوا في كل التخصصات اللي بتقدر تساعد وبترفع البلد عبر الخبرات ان شاء الله.
الليله نحن وزعنا اكل بالنسبه للمواطنين بتاعنا، والوزاره جاء وجا شاف المنظمه حق يعني هنا وزعنا الليله دقيق وسكر ورز، ووزعنا صوابين وشويه من القروش نحن لمينا نحن كشباب وزعناها لحل المحتاجين ل 1000 اسره، والليله ان شاء الله الايامات الجايه هنوزع الاكل.
انا بجد انا مرتاحين، انا كان شعب بتذكر الامهات في بتاعنا ده في ارامل الما قدر عيالهم يمشي مدرسة يأكل ربنا يهديه كالشعب ده وجاء ذكر الأمهات.
In kickboxing news, the South Sudan Kickboxing Federation is set to launching the East Africa Kickboxing Challenge. South Sudanese fighter-a-thon Benego faces Kenyans Biko Steve, and the highly rated champion James Majok takes on Rebecca Sani, a champion from Ethiopia. The winners of these matches will represent East Africa in the upcoming fights in Thailand. The fighters are calling on their country mates to showing support by attending the event in large numbers at 2 p.m. at the Nyakron Cultural Center Hall.
Sports just don't entertain. They unite communities, they build spirits, they build people. And at Smart Capital, we understand the magic that South Sudan Kickboxing Federation has in the sports that we are thrilled to sponsor and be part of, the East Africa MMA Challenge 2025, which is happening tomorrow at Nyakuron Center. We are proud to be part and parcel of this team. We want to see what the Ethiopian Sani, the Kenyan Biko, the South Sudanese Majok, and Wizi has. It's going to be a thrill, and we are happy to be part and parcel of this. We have always committed to be there for South Sudan Kickboxing Federation, and our partnership has yielded lots and lots of good things. We just don't build businesses, but we also build communities. And at South Sudan Kickboxing Federation, we are happy that we're building a community of fighters, a community of people who have the discipline to put their map and their places in the world. So tomorrow we look forward to a thrilling fight, and may the best fighter win.
I'm sorry, I don't talk too much, so my talk in the ring. So I will get it into the ring tomorrow. I'm ready.
This fight actually is a preparation for the way to Thailand, I guess, for all of us who are going to be fighting in the international championship. So I invited all South Sudanese around Kenya and Uganda and Tanzania and everybody who likes martial art to turn up tomorrow to come and support us actually in Big Hand.
I've been ready for this tournament, and I know that I'm facing James Majok. I've been really prepared myself, and I hope I'm going to win the fight.
I'm proud to be in South Sudan. It's a good country. Everyone is so calm, good. They are so humble. Winding my fight tomorrow by 4:30. I'm doing MMA. I'm proud to be here. Also, I'm proud because I'm the next champ again, because I've never.
From me and the team, I am Mathiang Joseph, and thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more programs coming up.